In today's video, we're going to continue our study of the characteristics of the beast of Revelation 13 and 14. We've already covered the first two. Rises up out of the sea representing people, nations, tongues, rising up out of a populated area to come into power. The second one, the dragon gave the beast its power, its seat, and authority. We know that the dragon is the pagan division of Roman Empire, and that he gave the beast his power, seat, and authority by Constantine moving his seat of authority from Rome to Constantinople and giving the beast authority in its stead. Also, we know that Justinian declared the beast to be the head of all the holy churches in AD 538. So now we're going to study this description of the beast where it has 7 heads and 10 horns. Let's look at Revelation chapter 13, verse 1. And I stood upon the sand of the sea, and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy. Notice that this beast has 7 heads, and each of these heads have the name blasphemy written on it. Also notice that there are 10 horns, and there are 10 crowns, one for each horn. We're going to look at the 7 heads first. In the Roman Empire, there were 7 forms of government that existed. And they're usually considered kingly, consular, decemvirate, dictatorial, triumvirate, imperial, and papal. One of these forms of government, or one of these heads, will have a deadly wound, yet that deadly wound will be healed. Which one is it? In Daniel 7, verses 7 and 8, remember Daniel 7 is a parallel chapter to Revelation 13, a parallel prophecy. In verse 7 of Daniel chapter 7, it says, After this I saw in the night visions, behold, a 4th beast, dreadful and terrible and strong exceedingly, and it had great iron teeth. Of course, this is the Roman Empire. It devoured and brake in pieces and stamped the residue with the feet of it, and it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it, and it had 10 horns. And I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among them another little horn, before whom there were 3 of the first horns plucked up by the roots. And behold, in this horn were the eyes like the eyes of a man, and a mouth speaking great things. Now in this prophecy here, again, we have this beast being representative of the Roman Empire. And it has 10 horns that come up it. And there's a little horn that come up among the 10 horns. And this little horn will pluck up 3 of the first horns by the roots. So let's look at this a little closer. Daniel 7:24 says this, And the 10 horns out of this kingdom are 10 kings that shall arise. And another shall arise after them, talking about that little horn. And he shall be diverse from the first, and he shall subdue 3 kings, or pluck up 3 of these horns by the roots. We know that this little horn is just another form of symbolism of the beast of Revelation 13. They're one and the same. These 10 kings, or 10 kingdoms, are the following. They are the Huns, the Ostrogoths, the Visigoths, the Franks, the Vandals, the Suevi, the Heruli, the Burgundians, the Anglo-Saxons, and the Lombards. These are the barbarian tribes that would invade the Roman Empire. 3 of these tribes would be plucked up by that little horn power. And being plucked up by the roots means that they would cease to exist. Which one of these three tribes were plucked up by this little horn power, or the beast? When we look at these characteristics of the beast, all these characteristics interact with each other. We see that the 7 heads, each one has blasphemy on it. Well, what does that mean? We'll find that out in another video. The 10 horns, 3 of them will be plucked up by the roots. We know the barbarian tribes' names that these 10 horns refer to. Which 3 of these horns are plucked up by the roots? And why does that little horn power or the beast pluck them up from the root? We see that of the 7 heads, 1 would have a deadly wound that would be healed. Which form of government, which of the heads would have a deadly wound that would be healed? And when did that happen? We'll continue to study these characteristics and try to bring these all together at the end so there can be no mistake about who the beast of Revelation 13 is. May God continue to bless you as you study His Word.